So we're pulling our cameras up a little higher, I see, on the baseline side.
Number 27, Noah.
Oh, what?
Number 32,
yeah, he did. Down low. Lower right. Yep.
Number 44, Alejandro Sanchez. And number 55, Mike Sexton. And now, the starters for the Cavaliers. Leading off, number 9, shortstop John Easter. For the home team, the Knights, Triad, who entertained the direct school record of 32 wins, 8 losses, leading team head coach Jesse Cooper. With a career record of 132 wins, 57 losses over 5 years. Coach Cooper is assisted by Sam Drake. Number 11, J.E. Harris. Number 12, Luke Tyler. Number 13, Wayne York. Number 15, Jake Thomas. Number 17, Jordan Phoenix. Number 24, Matt Persinger. Number 30, Tyler Carpenter. Number 32, Austin Schmidt. And number 33, Dalton Johnson. And the starting lineup for the Knights. Leading off and playing up field, number 2, Cody Massey. And second, playing second base, number 23, Ty Lewis. And third pitching, number 3, Dylan Johnson. And cleanup, playing first base, number 9, Keaton Wright. And fifth, playing right field, number 8, Blake Thomas. And sixth, and playing third base, number 18, Andrew Rain. And seventh, and playing shortstop, number 4, A.J. Wise. And eighth, pitcher, number 20, Lucas Infante. And ninth, playing center field, number 10, Troy Wiesmeyer. The Knights of Troy Triad. The umpire for today's game. Behind the plate will be Bob Copas from Elmhurst. At first base, Bob Jenkins from Wheaton. And at third base, Dan Marshall from Oklahoma.
The final weekend of the Illinois high school sports season gets underway here this morning in Joliet. It's Class 3A baseball, the semifinals, and it matches the 33-6 LaSalle Peru Cavaliers and the 32-8 Triad Knights. And hi again, everybody. I'm Dave Bernhardt. Glad you could join us. Partnered along with this weekend Hall of Fame coach and state championship coach Mark Lindo. And Mark, when you take a look at these two teams and you look on paper, this first semifinal matchup, the later one coming up today, of course, will match Nazareth Academy and Marian Catholic. But here today with Triad and LaSalle Peru, it appears to be the classic pitching versus hitting matchup.
Well, Mike Lynch, we'll talk about his numbers in just a moment, but he can be dominating. So can this Triad offense without using names right now. You look down their numbers, 455, 449, 426, 402. These guys can flat out hit, but a challenge today against the likings of Mike Lynch.
LaSalle Peru will be the visiting team. You get a look at the starting pitcher for Triad. That's Lucas Infante. We'll give you his numbers in just one moment. This will be the lineup he will be facing for LP. John Heister will lead it off playing short. Adam Hatt, the second baseman, bats second. Cody Booker, the coach's son of Coach Bill Booker, the catcher, bats third. Hitting the cleanup spot be first baseman Levi Erickson. Casey Hubie hits fifth in right field. Playing third, batting sixth, Kyle Jenkins. Austin Smith is doing the hitting today for the pitcher Mike Lynch. Keenan Paddock, the left fielder, bats eighth, and batting ninth will be Brett Storm. On the mound, Lucas Infante.
Lucas Infante, a 6', 175 junior, also plays shortstop when not pitching. A sparkling 8-1 record, 44 2/3 innings pitched, an earned run average of 2.66 on the season. Only 31 strikeouts in 42 2/3 innings, so he's a command control type of pitcher. 23 base on balls, and he's allowed 35 hits in those 44 2/3 innings. So he's got to do it with a little bit of command. He's got to work the edges, work the L up and down, in and out. And so today, to call the first semifinal game of the 3A state tournament, the Hall of Fame voice of the Illinois High School Association, Dave Bernhardt.
Thank you very much, Mark, and what a wonderful, gorgeous weather day we have. Currently 77 degrees, winds out of the southwest at 5 miles per hour. That means it's blowing slightly out, straight out to center field. Temperature is supposed to get up into the upper 80s today. No rain in the forecast. A lot of baseball to be had for you right here on IHSA.tv. John Heister will lead it off for LaSalle Peru. The Cavaliers on an unbelievable streak here in the playoffs. Obviously 5 straight, 4 of them by shutouts, but overall a 15-game winning streak for LP. First pitch of this 3A and 4A tournament delivered by Lucas Infante. Strike one to Heister. John Heister stands with a slightly open stance, but he's not afraid to get hit by a pitch. 28 hit by pitches this season.
In the leadoff hole, your job is to set the table any old which way. So it's not batting average, it's on base percentage, especially in this spot.
Heister up there being the leadoff hitter. He's taken every pitch. The count 1-2. Heister on the season, a .270 batting average. The 9 doubles. So not a lot of extra base pop. Hits this one high. Hits it fairly well to left field. Cody Massey will retreat a little bit and make the catch for the first out. Defensively for Triad, it looks this way. You just saw Cody Massey in left. Troy Wiesmeyer, the center fielder. Blake Thomas is in right. Third baseman is Andrew Range. A.J. Wise is the shortstop. Ty Lewis is over at second. Keaton Wright at first base. The catcher, he's a good one. Dylan Johnson along with Infante on the mound. Now bring us to the number 2 hitter here in the LP lineup. That will be Adam Happ. Happ, a .293 hitter with just a couple of doubles. This is a team that will play small ball with you. Bill Booker, the head coach, will bunt. He'll bunt and run. He'll move runners. And it's worked to a 33-6 record. Right up the middle and through. Adam Happ gets the base hit.
Kept his hands back on a fastball that did not have much location down. It was basically center cut. And Happ just turned it right back around. It looked like Infante just in the last second might get his glove down, but it scooted by him into center field, so they got something going.
Brings up Cody Booker. You'll look down at his dad, the third base and head coach for LaSalle Peru. Booker comes in with a .452 average, leads this team by a big margin of 13 doubles, and we have a balk. First movement of the game from the stretch results in a balk.
You know, it looked like Infante, sometimes a balk occurs when there is some indecision. It looked like he might have just tripped, but he knew it, and I think Bob Kopas, home plate umpire, was so surprised by it, it wasn't a call. It wasn't called immediately. And then there was, oh, yeah, that was illegal, any kind of movement.
Bob Kopas at home, our first base umpire Bob Jenkins, and Dan Marshall umpiring over at third. Booker looks at ball one. Well, Cody Booker, one of two members of this LP team that is familiar with Joliet. He was a backup catcher his freshman year when the Cavaliers finished in fourth. That was in 2009. He, along with today's starting pitcher, Mike Lynch, part of that team. The count now 2-0 to him.
Cody Booker, quite an honor. He was the most valuable player in the Northern Big 12 Conference. That's quite an honor to be Player of the Year.
Happ at second base with one out. And the count goes 3-0. First base open for Levi Erickson. He's the man waiting on deck should Booker reach.
So I don't know if this is the proverbial pitch around him with the base open or not. You have arguably the best hitter in the lineup in the 3-hole.
Just looking at that one all the way.
Center fielder Wiesmeyer shading way to right center field. A big gap between Wiesmeyer and Cody Massey in left.
And that pitch hits Booker. It will send him down to first base. And here in the early going, LaSalle Peru has something going. We'll get our first courtesy runner of this tournament. It will be Josh Sarver running over at first base. Now we'll bring up Levi Erickson. Cleanup hitter for the Cavaliers. .314 average, 25 runs batted in. That's third high on the team. Cody Booker leads his club in runs batted in. And Infante struggling a little bit here early.
Erickson, an imposing presence from a physicality standpoint. Goes about 6'1", 6'2", 180. Large upper body, but again, we know great hitters hit with the lower body first. Power comes from the legs.
This one will come back and out of play. Almost a cloudless sky here today in Joliet. Well, if you're going to get a game to play here, this would be the one. First game of the day at 10 o'clock a.m. Temperature beautiful, not much wind to speak of. Erickson waits on it to left field. They're going to wave Happ. Here's the throw from Massey. It'll be close. He's in there. 1-0 LaSalle Peru.
Erickson got a breaking ball that didn't do much besides spin from Infante. Kept his hands back, put a charge on it, got it right past a diving Andrew Range at third base. Pretty strong throw by Cody Massey. On time, on target, but a sweet slide by Adam Happ away from the catcher, Dylan Johnson. Got his left arm in as he dove, rollover slide. Good execution by the Cavaliers.
26th run batted in of the season for Erickson, and that will prompt a visit to the mound. It will also get a little conversation going over at third base. Well, it's a very emotional time as you take a look at Bill Booker talking to his Cavaliers, because back on May 4th, the school board at LaSalle Peru High School decided to terminate the baseball coaching responsibilities of Bill Booker, along with the track coach, also athletic director Greg Sarver. And all that has happened since that firing is 15 straight wins, 9 of those by way of shutout.
You know, we had a chance to talk with Coach Booker last night. What a class act. Great character, integrity. Had nothing but good things to say about LaSalle Peru High School and his experience there. He said, just report, they decided to go a different direction. But he just, right now, what a thrill the way he's going out with his last 2 games of coaching baseball.
They played a game the day after that announcement, and he says, well, the most emotional game he has ever been in. Obviously, it was a victory that started this run to Joliet. Casey Hubie's at the plate, and he looks at ball 2. Hubie, .345 average, second high in the club with 27 runs batted in. Only 1 out and a run in with 2 on. Got that ball right in tight on Hubie, and that's all he could do with his. Foul it over to the first base dugout. Oh, you see all the Cavaliers back there hanging on the rail. Big crowd from the LaSalle, Peru area. Just about an hour away from Joliet on Interstate 80. Triad, just a little bit southeast of St. Louis, south of Belleville. So a long trip for their fans to come up here. It's about a 5-hour journey, that's about 5 to Joliet. 3 balls and a strike to Hubie. In the background, oh, nice hand. That's Coach Matt Glebzinski, Coach Glep, here for LaSalle, Peru, as he shows his skills down the first base box. There he is. Played for Bill Booker right here at LP. Hubie hits this one. That'll be a base hit to right field. Courtesy runner Sarver being waved around. He will score easily. An RBI single by Casey Hubie, and it's an early 2-0 Cavaliers lead.
Well, they're getting some good passes at the baseball. 3-2 count there. Sitting dead red was Hubie. I was somewhat surprised with first and second. They didn't start the runners in motion. Need not be. A solid base hit to right field as he kept his hands back, got the barrel through. And they are pulling the baseball right now, getting around the offerings of Lucas Infante. And right now, LP getting some good looks and then taking those good looks and putting them in to an offensive outburst the very first inning.
Erickson was able to go all the way from first to third, and that will bring us to the number 6 hitter in the lineup. That's Kyle Jenkins, the third baseman. Jenkins, .299 average. Jenkins, a 6-foot, 150-pound junior. Waited and just gets a piece of that breaking ball from Infante.
Infante will not throw the ball by you. He's not going to dial it up at 86, 88, anything like that. He's got to hit this edge, that edge, in, out, up, and down. And when he throws his off-speed stuff, it's got to change plays and have some downward movement.
Hits this ball hard into the hole. That will score another. Erickson crosses home plate. 4 hits in the inning, 3 runs in, 3-0 LaSalle, Peru, with still only 1 out.
Once again, a hanging breaking ball. The Infante was upset at himself on. Andrew Range lays out again, but to no avail. And you want guys on the opposing team to hit ground balls and let your defense play. But these ground balls are getting through the infield with some giddy up on it. There's some bat speed being generated, and they've not been able to find an atom ball yet, has Triad.
Brings us to Austin Smith. He's a designated hitter batting for the pitcher Mike Lynch. Smith, 5'8" junior, .356 batting average. He has 5 doubles. So you said not a prolific hitting team, but obviously been very successful for the last 5 batters, reaching base by way of the base hit. Fouled straight back into the screen. No balls, 2 strikes. First time that Infante has had that count in his favor here in the first 7 batters. Hubie and Jenkins take their lead at second and first. That ball's base hit past the third baseman Range. Hubie coming around to score, and the hit parade continues. 4 runs in the inning for the LaSalle Peru Cavaliers.
It's a barrage. It's a blitzkrieg, if you will. Infante, no one up and warming up in the Triad bullpen as of yet. But again, balls just being peppered twice to the left of Andrew Range. That time it was to his backhand side, and it was just a rocket that got down the left field line.
Eighth man to bat in the inning. Keegan Paddock shows bunt and will pull it back. Paddock, the left fielder. 6 foot, 170-pound senior, has just 6 hits and 45 at bats. That's a 133 average. First baseman Keegan Wright coming in. And evens the count at 1-1.
You read the numbers of Paddock. Interesting, though, with 2 runners on, that he'd be bunting. Now they're going to let him swing. Paddock only 170. Outfield playing relatively shallow for him, especially right fielder Blake Thomas.
Waves at that pitch from Infante. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Long look in by Infante. Paddock's able to fist it out of play.
Now that was a good location pitch by Infante. He got the ball in and up. You know, if we think about pitchers being wild, sometimes pitchers can be wild in the zone, meaning they're throwing too many strikes where the hitter can be effective.
Counts goes to 3-2 with runners at first and second and 1 out. Infante, after an opening flyout to start this game, has given up 5 singles and has hit a batter. He stays alive.
Interesting, with 2 strikes also, first baseman Keaton Wright continues to play up by the cutout area at first base. Normally be playing behind a runner here, giving yourself more angles to work with defensively.
And Paddock continues to swing the bat. This one out of play, and it reaches the grassy berm down the left and right field line. Infante now 35 pitches into this inning and just 1 out.
Would you say it's fair to call this a labor at this point for the young man?
All right, now head coach Jesse Booger for Triad just says, get me out of this. And that's a called strike 3. Good pitch right there by Infante.
He knew it. Infante, I think fans might have thought that he was jogging out to first base. He was jogging back to the dugout, waiting for Bob Kobus to ring him up. Pretty good at bat. I think, a 9-pitch at bat right there? And then ultimately, though, didn't finish the deal by taking a called 3rd strike.
Austin Schmidt warming up in the Triad bullpen, 5'10" senior. Brings us to the number 9 hitter in this LP order. That's Brett Storm. Storm, the center fielder, a .325 average from that number 9 hole. And here with the number 8 and 9 hitters, Infante looks like he may have picked up a little bit of confidence.
Cody Massey, left field, playing toward the line. A ball to the line, goes to the line. You would expect a left-handed hitter Storm to go that direction.
Line drive, base it inside the line. This could go for extra bases. Jenkins around to score. Smith will pull up at third. It will be a 2-out run-scoring double for Brett Storm.
Well, we just talked about they were playing him to left field, and I made the comment he might go that way. If you're going to play him away, you got to pitch him away. That was a breaking ball that came in on him and stayed up. So when the ball came in on him, he was able to get the barrel through the zone and lace it down the right field line. A good piece of hitting right there by Storm to pick out the 2-out run.
5-0, LaSalle, Peru. 6 hits and a hit batter. The top of the first inning, we go back to the top of the order and John Heister. Heister started this game with the fly out to left field.
He started this game with a foul to left field about 19-20 minutes ago. It's been a
You're
long
right.
inning. And it hasn't been misplayed. It's just been a base hit barrage.
And you can add another pitch to the pitch count here for Lucas Infante here in the first inning. 6-foot junior. The 8-1 record, 2.66 ERA, has given up 5 runs on 6 hits. Easter not afraid to take some pitches.
Yeah, suffice it to say, even if Lucas Infante settles down completely, this will not be a complete game performance for him just because of a pitch count that is climbing here in inning number 1.
First base is open. Adam Happ on deck, had the first hit, scored the first run of this game. Heister sees the count. Go to 3-2. And that's ball 4. The inning continues. Bases are loaded for Adam Happ.
Triad just not able to stop the bleeding at this point. Triad from the Mississippi Valley Conference. A great season, but a very, very difficult first inning here in Joliet.
Lucas Infante has thrown 45 pitches this inning. Happ to center field. Slipping, falling, but recovering is Troy Wiesmeyer. And that will bring this first inning to a close. But not before LaSalle Peru scores 5 runs on 6 hits. Toss in a hit batter, a walk, they leave 3. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Triad making their first appearance in the state finals, already chasing 5 runs. Here's the lineup for Triad, 32 wins and 8 losses. They need to chip into this 5-run deficit. Cody Massey to lead things off. He'll be in left field. Ty Lewis, the second baseman, bats second, hitting third. The catcher's Dylan Johnson. Keaton Wright is at first base batting cleanup. Blake Thomas, the right fielder, hits fifth. Batting sixth will be a third baseman, Andrew Range. A.J. Wise bats seventh. He's at short. Lucas Infante, as you know, has been doing the pitching. He's in the 8th spot. Troy Wiesmeyer, he made the catch for that final out in center field. And if you're going to try to make up 5 runs, I'm not sure the man on the mound is the one you want to go after. That's Mike Lynch. He's got some big-time numbers.
Lynch has a minuscule earned run average of 0.63, 12-0 record in 77 1/3 innings pitched. He's allowed only 39 hits. Very impressive. Punched out 89 opposing hitters in 77 innings, so he can be overpowering, and walked just 17. The 6'1", 220-pound senior will make his first pitch right now to Cody Massey.
Those of you that are into whip, walks plus hits divided by innings pitched, to give you an indication of how many base runners you allow per inning. For Mike Lynch, his whip is a 0.72. That means on average through the course of an entire season, not counting errors, he's allowed less than a base runner an inning.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And my math isn't as good as yours, but that's like literally 6 base runners a game is what that comes out to. And that's why you have an earned run average of 0.63. When the king is on the hill, they feel pretty good about themselves to the Cavaliers.
You can see the size for Lynch, 6'1", 220 pounds, as Bill Booker told us last night. He said he'll remind you of Rick Russell, for all you folks that remember the Russell brothers, Rick and Paul Russell, who hailed from Western Illinois area. Eventually pitched with the Chicago Cubs, and Lynch will get his first strikeout of the day.
Gas upstairs above his hands.
Cody Massey goes down swinging. That will bring us to Ty Lewis. Lewis, 5'11 senior, a 328 average. He followed Massey, who checked in at 361. You're going to hear big offensive numbers here for the Knights. Outfield, infield, playing Lewis straight away. I don't know if you can play much straighter away than this defensive alignment is here for LaSalle Peru. They have played great defense in the postseason. We've talked about their shutouts. First 4 games in the state playoffs were shutouts. Only gave up 1 run in the super sectional win, 10-1 win over Burlington Central. And in fact, that run was scored in the 6th inning, and it ended a string of 31 1/3 scoreless innings in the state tournament. A ball and 2 strikes to Lewis. Just off the end of the bat at 84 miles per hour.
That's about where we thought we'd see Lynch, anywhere from 83 to 85. Maybe a little bit more velocity if he goes upstairs above the hands.
Well, that's where he was trying to climb a little bit up there.
And he gained 1 mile an hour. So a little bit more giddy up when you go upstairs.
Good call, Coach. Didn't realize you had that such fine tune to that increase in velocity. Boy, this one will take a while to come down. Heister will drift out into short left field, and that's out number 2. I'll bring up Dylan Johnson, 5'11 senior catcher, a .449 batting average. Johnson with 11 doubles, 7 triples, 3 home runs. He's driven in 47 runs on the season, headed to McKendree University.
One of those home runs was part of their super sectional victory.
That was a 13-4 clubbing of Danville, and that came after they won the Mattoon sectional with a 10-0 win over Mattoon. The big ball game in that sectional for Triad, they got past Chatham Glenwood 6-5. In fact, the Glenwood was more than just a hump. They had lost to Glenwood. Triad had in 2009 and 2010 in the super sectional. This time they got them in the sectional semis. 4 of the players on this year's Triad team were sophomores and freshmen in 2010, so that 1-run victory over Titans, a big one for the program.
Glenwood, of course, a perennial baseball power from that area. Won a state title in the 90s. Jason Worth from the Nationals played on that state championship team.
Well, Lynch is a pitch away from knocking down Triad in order after his team in about a 25-minute top half of the inning scored 5 times. Johnson gets a little bit tired of Mike Lynch staring in. A lot of red here today. The colors for Triad, red and black, red and green for LP. Just missed inside. The Cavaliers dugout ready to come out and congratulate Lynch on a fine first inning, but he's got to throw at least one more pitch. Johnson deep, foul on the hill. The fan way down there tried to make a catch. Not with much success. Silver Cross Field, the home of the Joliet Slammers, members of the Frontier League, Independent League. Johnson fouls this one away. Just like so many of your minor league ballparks, as we had last week in Peoria, you have your seating bowl, your second level of luxury suites, and then down each line, you have those grassy hills that kids love to play on. Check swing. This will work for Erickson, and it will work for the Cavaliers. A 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the first. We head to the second. LP to bat again. They lead it 5-0. The red and green of LaSalle Peru fans who have been fired up over this postseason. They were here in 2009, finished 4th. This year they're looking for a little bit more here in Class 3A. Cody Booker to lead things off as LaSalle Peru sent 11 men to the plate in the first inning. Booker hit by a pitch. His courtesy runner eventually scored the second run of the game. Saw the line score, 5 runs on 6 hits. A pitch up high, 2-0. Of those 6 hits, only 1 for extra bases. And that's the funny thing about baseball. I mean, obviously they were all clean hits. But you go 5 or 6 feet one way or another, the ground ball that gets through to the outfield all of a sudden isn't out, or a possible double play.
Exactly, and you know, he got his ground balls, but they were hard-hit ground balls and nothing at a defender. They all found some seams in the infield.
Lucas Infante now down 3-0 to Booker, make it 4-0. A walk to Booker sends him down to first base. That is the second walk of the game, and it is the third base runner that has reached not by way of hit, and that may be it for Infante. Jesse Booger will make the slow walk out, and following him out on a trot is Austin Schmidt. So Infante's day in the mound is done, and it lasts 12 batters.
1+ innings. The runner on first charged to Infante, so 5 runs on 6 hits and 1 more runner on board. And they gave him the first batter of this inning just to see if maybe he could right himself. But Lucas Infante, it just wasn't his day this morning. Number 32, Austin Schmidt checks in. He's a 5'10", 175 senior. He's pitched in 14 games. This one would be number 15. 3-0 record in 24 innings. He's allowed 31 hits, 15 earned runs. He has 20 strikeouts and 7 base on balls, and an earned run average of 4.38. And he'll inherit the leadoff runner on first base.
So not only does Infante miss out on getting a lot of time on the mound here in the state semifinals, he also loses his spot in the batting order, or at least temporarily, to Schmidt. That was a straight change with Schmidt and Lucas Infante. So Austin Schmidt will try to slam the door here on LaSalle, Peru.
Well, Triad's got some work to do twofold. One, they have some work to do chasing 5 with only 18 outs to go. 18 sounds like a lot, but it's not a big league game. It's a 6-inning opportunity for them right now. But the other thing they got to do is they got to, right now, regroup mentally. They're too good a team not to, and get their competitive edge back.
Levi Erickson, single and an RBI and a run scored in the first inning, will step in. Big first baseman, 6'1", 180 pounds. Running at first base once again is Josh Sarver, the courtesy runner for Booker. Erickson hits this ball high, drifting into left center field. Wiesmeyer for the first out. That will bring us to Casey Hubie. And this will be an old refrain as we recap the first inning. Hubie, a single, RBI, and a run scored in the first inning.
Triad's won 12 of their last 15 ball games, so they came in a confident team and lost a lot of that edge in the first inning. Can they regain it?
Runner goes. Johnson, a one-hop throw, gets him. That ball bounced, about a foot beyond the pitcher's mound, had enough hop to it. Johnson, a one-hop throwing out, caught stealing.
And what you'll see here is the quick release. Not the greatest of throws, but boy, he got up and it was gone in a hurry. Nice tag by A.J. Wise. The throw came on the first hop, but took Wise to the first base side where he very easily made the tag.
So a fly out, a caught stealing, and very quickly 2 gone in the inning here to Casey Hubie. Hubie, who had singled down the right field side of the field, fouls this one away to the left.
I think going back to that throw by Dylan Johnson, Dave, I know you'll concur that a lot of times catchers, especially young catchers, are so worried about where they throw the ball. They try to be too perfect and get the ball to the base instead of just getting it there as fast as they can.
And that goes off the arm and glove of Keegan Wright for a 2-out error.
Ball's hit hard, but Keegan Wright has a chance, I think, to square that ball up, get both hands in front of it. He opted to try to backhand that baseball. It climbed up his wrist, got a little bit beat up on that play, and that will go down as an error.
Bring up Kyle Jenkins, single RBI run scored in the first. Short lead at first for Hubie. Jenkins picked up his 17th run batted in. His single to left field. Left fielder Cody Massey playing pretty deep for Jenkins. Well, the numbers all talked about how Triad came in and swinging the big bats, and they've got a lot of time left in this ball game, but LaSalle Peru has gone up there hacking here today.
Well, a very aggressive approach. They got some good first ball fastballs, a couple hanging curveballs in the first inning, and they didn't miss. Good hitters, good hitting teams don't miss mistakes. Infante left a couple balls up in the first inning, and the Cavalier hitters, boom, jumped all over it with great aggressiveness.
Jenkins hits this one to right field. Blake Thomas to the line for the out. So no runs in the inning. Austin Schmidt came in and did the job. There was a walk and a person left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the second, 5-0 LP. As we take a look beyond the left field area, you see the steeples. Just beyond that left field foul pole, a fire station. And you look down the right field side, historic in the distance, historic Joliet Central High School, winners of several architectural awards.
You know, last week we were able to enjoy basically the Peoria skyline from our vantage point, and we're seeing the same thing in Joliet. And you're right, every time I look at Joliet Township High School, I just marvel at the architecture of that building and the vastness of that building.
Keaton Wright to lead things off here in the bottom of the second for the Knights. The 6'2", 205-pound junior, a .426 hitter, leads the club with 48 runs batted in, 18 doubles on the season. Takes a big cut. We'll spin this one out of play down the left field line.
Well, you know, you get to the 3A and 4A schools, a lot of times you kind of lose the community, if you know what I mean by that. Triad is indeed a community, LaSalle Peru a community, so they still have that small town feel even though their enrollments are over 1,100, almost 1,200.
Line drive right at the second baseman, Happ.
But like most community teams, Triad takes a great deal of pride, and most of their teammates have been together since they were 9, 10 years old, grew up playing together, and when you play together 6, 7, 8 years, and then you finish in the state tournament, what a thrill.
Mike Lynch has things going. Number 5 hitter in the order, Blake Thomas, will step in. He'll go after that first pitch. Heister, low throw. Picked out of there nicely by Levi Erickson. That was a tough hop for Erickson. And Heister very appreciative of his first baseman.
Well, you know, Blake Thomas, he got down the line in lickety-split fashion because that ball was hit hard. You see him, he squares that up, probably a two-hopper. And Heister thought he had some time. I better hurry. Short hopped his first baseman, Erickson. I'll take care of you.
With 2 gone, Andrew Range will step to the plate. Range 6'1", 205-pound senior, .402 average on the season. Andrew headed to Truman State. That's where he will be taking his skills next year. Lynch goes right after Range with that 5-run lead. It's 0-2.
I think Range might have in the tournament some absurd number like 550 average in the 5 games of the tournament, where he has just been hotter than a firecracker, but not this time.
He sees 3 pitches from Lynch. Second strikeout of the game for Mike Lynch. Through 2 innings. Everything going the Cavaliers' way. 5-0. No, those are not fans who have been out in the sun too long. That is part of a sculpture attached to a building beyond the right field wall, actually in foul territory here, Silver Cross Field. Very unique perspective. And on the first pitch, Austin Smith will send it to Wiesmeyer in center field.
I was going to ask when that picture was up which one of those was representing Dave Bernhard. I mean, you're a legend to have a monument here in Joliet, aren't you?
No. I was going to say if there's a man up there sleeping, then that might have been mine. 1 pitch, 1 out. Brings us to Keegan Paddock, struck out looking his first time up. We're in the top of the third. Dave Fernhardt, Mark Lindo with you. Coming up next, a couple of schools from the East Suburban Catholic Conference. Nazareth Academy making their second appearance in 2 years. Roadrunners finished third in 3A last year. And then Marion Catholic. Line drive left field, giving ground. Massey back, and that goes over his head. That ball just kept on going off the back of Paddock. Paddock makes a turnaround second. That will be an error on the left fielder, Cody Massey. But Paddock hit that ball well for a 133 hitter.
Paddock squared it up, no doubt about that. He kept his hands back, put a charge on it. It was a ball that was up and over the zone, but you'll see Massey. There's the solid contact. He drops the barrel of the bat, but Massey drifting instead of sprinting, getting to a spot and finding the baseball.
Storm wanted to put the ball down with the bunt. Couldn't find the right spot. The number 9 hitter doubled to right field and drove in a run in the first.
So important for outfielders to go to the spot, get to the spot as quickly as they can where they anticipate the ball finally landing rather than drifting. You get yourself in big jail, and then you can't play catch-up.
Storm not happy with himself with that particular effort. You know, in fact, these two hitters, Keegan Paddock, who's at second base, and Brett Storm, what they do before every pregame or during the pregame, they'll go to a separate side of the field and they'll work on their bunting. They know they're fast, and what they understand is that bunting is something that's going to open the game up for others.
And then it becomes a pride factor. When you don't get the job done, you get upset at yourself because you know your teammates have so much pride in their bunting game.
And he catches a big break right there as a breaking ball from Austin Schmidt hits him, and that will send Storm down to first base. Runners at first and second with just 1 out.
So a mistake by Schmidt and a great cerebral play by Storm staying in there. 0-2. Odds are against him at that point. Count in favor of the pitcher. Gets a breaking ball, stays right in there, turns his shoulder, and then jogs to first base.
For the third time in 3 innings, John Heister, the leadoff batter in the LP lineup, will come to the plate. He's taken a lot of pitches today, and he takes that one for a strike. We said Heister not afraid to be hit by a pitch. Doesn't wear any padding. Has a little bit of an ankle guard. Hit by a pitch 28 times this year. I like his quote. He says, if I see a ball coming at me, I just prefer not to get out of the way.
That's the way to do it.
Down to the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Good pitch there by Schmidt. And Heister will go down for the second out of the inning.
You know, Heister came in with an on-base percentage of .564. He's been on base 1 out of 3 times today. You take a look at that, he scored 33 runs, almost a run a game. That's productivity at the top of the lineup.
Adam Happ 1 for 2 today with a run scored. Pitch from Schmidt a little bit low.
Talk, Dave, about these enrollments. 1,199 is the enrollment of LP. 1,198 is the enrollment of Triad. So a little advantage LP, huh?
Yeah, we'll see if that one student, could be the one student sitting in a history class, maybe makes a difference.
Or it could be Mike Lynch.
There you go, that's right.
He's the one more student right now. He's got 2 zeros up on the board.
Takes a while to get to Wise, but he makes a good throw across. It's another good inning for Austin Schmidt. He did have 1 batter reach on an error, another on a hit batter, but he gets out of it. To the bottom of the third we go, 5-0 Cavaliers over the Knights. Welcome back to Joliet Silver Cross Field. Game number 1 of 4 today here in your state 3A and 4A finals. This is Triad and LaSalle, Peru. Coming up next, it'll be Nazareth Academy taking on Marion Catholic. And then 4A action this afternoon, Grant and Oak Park River Forest in game number 1 of 4A play. And then defending state champs, the Lions from Lyons Township, will take on Manuka. Lions looking to go back-to-back. And how significant is that in large school play? No team in Illinois has done that since 1959 when Maine Township did it.
Maine Township. Okay, I was going to guess. I thought it was Morton. But you're right all over that. I thought it was Morton that did that.
Leading it off here in the bottom of the third inning is left-hand hitting A.J. Wise. Yanks this one foul.
IHSA trivia would tell us what Maine Township is now what? Maine South, Maine East, Maine West. And it was one school back then, right?
Yes, sir.
How they're growing. Look in the, even right, I know you're Lincoln Way area. My Naperville area used to be Naperville High School. Now it's Naperville Central, Naperville North, Neuqua Valley, Wabansie Valley, Mattia Valley. So that's how some of the, and look at the Plainfields the same way. Plainfield Central and North, South, East, West, all over the state. There was that boom time about 10, 12 years ago. The populations and cities just erupted.
Wise skies this one to right field. Boy, that ball is hanging in the air a long time for Casey Hubie. And Mike Lynch has retired the first 7 batters he's seen.
Well, Lynch, you mentioned Cavaliers in 2009. He was a freshman on that team, and he was a part of that experience. And he finds himself now in his senior year having a major role in getting his team to the Saturday title game.
Austin Schmidt will now bat. He is doing the pitching for Triad. Schmidt came on for Lucas Infante, who had been occupying this number 8 spot in the order. So Schmidt comes to the plate. Only 6 official at bats this season for Austin. He has 1 hit. You would expect Lynch to go right at him here. Troy Wiesmeyer waits on deck. Triad with a 32-8 record under head coach Jesse Booger in his 5th year with 132 wins and just 57 losses. Booger, all-stater at Edwardsville High School. That was back in 1994, then went on to play at Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. His team trails 5-0. 5 runs in the top of the first inning. Schmidt puts the bat on the ball. This ball carries pretty well to left field. That ball is carrying quite well here today, but Keegan Paddock will make the catch. Well, it's the right temperatures, just a little bit of breeze blowing out. And there are 2 outs in the inning here to Troy Wiesmeyer.
Nice to have a 3-11 hitter in your 9 spot, kind of like the quote-unquote second leadoff man. Wiesmeyer able to handle the bat and turn the lineup back over for Massey for this team. That's why they've been so strong of an offensive team as Triad Knights all year long.
So far, they've not been able to solve Mike Lynch. Wiesmeyer will rattle a seat on the second level here at Silver Cross Field. Good look at Mike Lynch. He and his battery mate, Cody Booker, who were on that team that Mark was describing in 2009. Tell you about that in just a second. Tough play here for the shortstop. John Heister is not going to make it. That's an infield single for Wiesmeyer. First batter to reach base today for the Knights.
Bounding ball that had eyes, and diving for it was Heister, but that ball just got back up the middle. We talked about Wiesmeyer being a threat in the 9-hole. He showed it just right there. It's a curveball that stayed up around his numbers. Hit it right back up the middle.
Take us back to the top of the order for the Knights. Cody Massey struck out swinging his first time up. But Lynch and Booker, members of that 2009 fourth place team, after they won their super sectional game against Burlington Central, it was Booker and Lynch who were telling all the other players, well, this is going to happen, and then this is what's going to go on. And so it was the wide-eyedness that they still retained from that freshman year. Happ, the easy play to first base, made it a little bit interesting, but brought down by Erickson, and that closes the third inning. So Triad able to reach Lynch for an infield single, and that is it. We played 3 here in your first Class 3A semifinal. The 5 runs in the first inning for LaSalle, Peru, standing up. We are 1 hour into this Class 3A semifinal, the first half hour of which was the top of the first inning when LaSalle, Peru scored 5 runs, and they did it by way of all 6 of their hits. The last 2.5 innings have been moving right along as this game has settled down. We go to the top of the 4th. Cody Booker to lead it off for LP. Booker today, officially, let's see how they rule here. Officially 0 for 3 now. He's been hit by a pitch twice and has walked.
So no official at bat, but he knows how to get on the base. And, you know, we've had the privilege the last couple weekends of seeing, the 3 or 4 sets of coaches' sons. And you know what? You can almost see it when they step into the batter's box. Just the way they carry themselves, the way they handle themselves around a game. And Cody Booker told us that, you know, the tough situation of his dad leaving the profession after this without his choice. He said he couldn't have asked for a better ending with him playing for his dad and with his dad in the state tournament.
Levi Erickson steps in. He is 1 for 2 today. Single, run scored, and a run batted in. Josh Sarver running at first base once again. He's been a busy man. Courtesy runner for Booker. Your cleanup hitter will put the bunt down. Schmidt looking for the tag and now gets the flip. That will be a sacrifice bunt for Levi Erickson.
Very interesting choice to play small ball right there. You already have a 5-run lead. You usually set the table for your cleanup hitter. Instead, they have Levi Erickson, a .314 hitter with 25 RBIs. Move him over for Casey Hubie.
Hubie drove in a run in the first inning. Sarver the lead at second. Hubie first pitch swinging. Well, Bill Booker, the head coach we've talked about, who was fired by the LaSalle Peru School Board back in the early part of May in his 20th season coaching the Cavaliers, 374 wins, 264 losses, and 5 ties, finished 4th in 2009. He says his philosophy is, let's win the inning. So if he believes he's got Mike Lynch on the mound and he can win this 4th inning 1-0, that's what he will do.
Just keep extending, keep creating some more distance. And Coach Booker was a football coach at LP as well, and also lost that opportunity for next year. So still will be teaching, but out of the coaching profession. But you and I both know that he'll be back coaching somewhere when he wants. 4 children in his family. His wife, Manuela, he said, just an outstanding coaching wife, and their family's obviously been through some tribulation, the last month.
They're going to get together following this tournament after everything settles down and kind of take a look and see what the future may hold for them. Count's gone to 3-1 on Hubie.
LP will have a new superintendent, a new athletic director, so some transition in the Cavalier administration.
In fact, the new athletic director, one very familiar name. Pitch is called a strike, as Hubie didn't like it. Very familiar name to sports fans in the, I guess you could say, the local area, the national area. Dwayne Bates, the former wide receiver at Northwestern, former NFL player, will be the new AD, and actually he has taken over duties. His contract began on June 1st, just a couple of days ago.
And I did notice on one of the job spots that they list openings in that there are some coaching openings listed at LaSalle Peru. So, you know, they're looking for people to fill those holes and give the best opportunity available for the student athletes for next year.
Hubie goes down swinging, second strikeout of the game for Austin Schmidt. Is still standing at second base is Josh Sarver with 2 outs to Kyle Jenkins. Jenkins 1 for 2, came into the tournament batting .299, so we could pull out the calculator and see whether he has got that number crept up over 300. I think that would be enough to do it right now. He'd like to push it up a little bit higher because if he can drive in Sarver from second base. Line drive right field, hit pretty well. Thomas is right there. So once again, Austin Schmidt blanks the Cavaliers. unscored upon in the last 3 innings. Those 5 runs in the first inning, standing up halfway home here. Your first Class 3A semifinal, LaSalle Peru 5, Triad nothing. Triad fans who have made their way to Joliet, hoping they can get something going here in the top or the bottom of the 4th inning against Mike Lynch. Only 1 batter has reached base on just 1 hit. Ty Lewis, number 2 hitter in the order, will look to get things started for the Knights. Lewis popped out to short his last time up. National Honor Society member, headed to Lewis and Clark College. And Lynch takes a little bit off of that one.
He and Blake Thomas both we go Lewis and Clark. Very, very fine baseball school. Triad, right as you mentioned, the southwest corner, so they have a smattering of Missouri opponents on their schedule. Kind of different, just to see how a different association might run things.
Lynch leaves that one up high.
Notice how I said that, Missouri, right?
I know, I picked up on that.
Not Missouri, but Missouri. That's the way it's properly pronounced.
That's called strike 3. Boy, Lynch is cruising right now. His 3rd strikeout.
Had a breaking ball that just froze a pretty good contact hitter in Ty Lewis. You see the big, strong upper body. Again, just like hitting, pitching starts from the foundation up from the legs, and watch him drive off the back leg. High leg kick.
Ground ball off the glove of the 3rd baseman, Kyle Jenkins, and Dylan Johnson will get there before the throw. That'll be a fielding error on Jenkins over at 3rd.
Dylan Johnson squares this ball up pretty well. Play that Jenkins would like to have back. Pretty solid fielder for the most part, consistently for LP. Pretty good speed. Dylan Johnson is one of their best 2 or 3 base runners that they allow to create havoc on the base paths, but I don't know now, chasing 5, probably not.
Keaton Wright hits with that open stance. See that ankle guard on that right leg. Johnson will run for himself at first base. Wright lined out to the 2nd baseman, his first time up. A lot of punch in his 3-4 spots in the order between Johnson and Wright. So you mentioned Johnson with the .449 average and 47 runs batted in. What he hasn't driven in, Wright has. Wright coming in with 48 runs batted in on a .426 average. 24 of the 55 hits Wright has had this year has gone for extra bases. Johnson back standing on the pickoff attempt.
Now, when you have 24 extra base hits in high school, that is saying you have gap and plus gap power. When you do that, you create an expansive outfield. When you can create an expansive outfield, you then get yourself some more, flares over the infield. So when you have a threat like that, look at his stance. Watch him load up as the pitch comes. The foot will come up, the hands will go back, as he does a great job loading his backside as he prepares for the delivery. If you get a chance to watch this swing, the foot will come up and his hands will go back. Right there.
And he looks at a strike, and another called 3rd strike. 2 in the inning. That pitch just froze Wright. Don't think that's what he was looking for.
Well, location, location, location for Mike Lynch, who just continues to paint like Picasso out on the mound as far as his ability to hit every edge of the plate. Wright
with 2 outs and a 5-run lead here in the 4th inning. Probably a bit more concerned with Dylan Johnson at first base than he may need to be. Johnson pretty good lead over there, however. Blake Thomas grounded out to short his first time up. Lynch has been ahead of the hitters today. That's a tough spot here. You're in the middle innings, you're down by 5. You know you better be up there swinging. Johnson will go, got a great jump. Booker's throw not in time, made it closer than one may have expected, as Johnson had a big lead and had it timed right. Stolen base for Dylan Johnson. Interesting, Coach Booker decides to run chasing 5
And you were right. I didn't think Lynch needed to pay a lot of attention right there. His focus is on the hitter. But Triad said we're going to stay with our game plan, try to get one run back first.
We're in the bottom of the 4th inning, a lot of time left. But now is when you better put something on the board. And they do the old fake pickoff play, as in I fake the throw, or I make the throw without the ball. Everybody scatters as if it was thrown away. Johnson wasn't biting. I don't know if I've ever seen it used in a 5-0
No,
game.
I was thinking the same thing. You think you put that one in your back pocket for if this got closer or even for tomorrow. Don't know if we can see that again. But again, what happened is there was never a throw. Both middle infielders, Heister and Happ, sprinted to the outfield like it was an errant throw, hoping that they would get the runner Johnson to get off base, but Johnson didn't buy it.
Blake Thomas at the plate. The count now has gone to 2-2 on him.
I saw way back in the Jaime Garcia Providence days in the early 80s, I saw them win a game basically on that play in a sectional, but the fake was at first base, not second.
Count's gone full to Thomas.
Providence Catholic, a IHSA power in the 80s. Numerous state tournament appearances.
Ball is outside. I'm trying to think which coach we saw in last weekend's Class 1A and 2A tournament that every single pitch he was reminding his runners to see the ball, find the ball.
Which you cannot remind players enough of that. And we talked about it last weekend. Any young players or any youth league coaches that are watching and listening right now, baseball, you need to know where the ball's at. One of the old Little League cliches is don't watch it, just run. It would definitely be not something we would teach a young baseball player or any baseball player. You need to make decisions on the bases predicated on where the ball's at. Thus, you always need to know where the ball's at.
Andrew Range will come to the plate. He was a 3-pitch strikeout victim his first time up against Mike Lynch. And speaking of that 1A, 2A tournament, congratulations to Effingham St. Anthony in 1A and to Normal U-High in 2A for claiming state championships last weekend.
Range 563, 11 RBIs in the state tournament series.
And nearly get the real pick that time on Johnson. Quick move by Lynch, quick tag by the shortstop, John Heister.
And Lynch going 6'1", 220. Very, very good feet right there. It's not the throw, it's the footwork of a pitcher. And he showed great footwork to second base on the hot pivot move.
Mentioned the big numbers for Andrew Range. That's quite an accomplishment, but how about this? Andrew Range, since the age of 3, has had 14 surgeries. And that was to repair a cleft lip and palate, and that was a birth defect. Then he had knee problems in high school. A couple of different knee surgeries as he fouls this one away. His kneecaps were so loose that he could manually move them over to the side, so that had to be taken care of. They had to do 2 different surgeries, missed time his sophomore and junior year, but 14 surgeries since the age of 3.
That's just amazing, and the fact, now he's one of the top 50 players in the St. Louis area. He'll be playing at Busch Stadium in June.
Hits this one hard to left field. It's hooking. Just foul. That would have been big for Triad.
You talk about the great picture right there of Andrew Range, the 18-year-old senior. His father, Bob, cried after the super sectional win, and that kind of gets me emotional just reporting that what a dad had seen his son overcome from birth, basically, to reach the epitome of his athletic prowess is just outstanding.
Range continues to battle.
Which he's done for 18 years of his life.
How about that? Yeah, right.
So this is nothing to him, and that bat is nothing to him compared to what he's gone through in his life from a physicality standpoint.
2-2 pitch, hanging in there. It's a good thing they make the windows up here in the second level of the unbreakable variety. Rangers rattle a couple of them off in the last 2 swings.
He just looks so comfortable at the plate. You can see why he's been on such a good roll. He's fouled off a couple tough pitches.
And another one there. Very, very relaxed, just sitting there, just very quiet.
Yeah, he pulled the foul ball down the left field line. He fought off a pitch on his hands on down the right field line. He takes a curveball, a little bit of bite, fouls it straight back. What a great at-bat going.
And now he's gotten himself to a 3-2 count, and the runners will be moving.
And you hit a gap, and we might score 2 and have a little bit of a ball game going.
Dylan Johnson's at second, Blake Thomas is at first. This one's into the air. Brett Storm, the center fielder, Casey Hubie, the right fielder, it will be Hubie. So Triad Threads cannot score off of Mike Lynch. They put 2 runners on an error and a walk, but they still remain scoreless. We'll head to the 5th. 5 big ones for LP. If you are a LaSalle Peru Cavalier fan, this has been a pretty relaxing last hour or so. Your team hasn't scored in that span, but the 5 big runs on 6 hits in the first inning standing up as we go to the top of the 5th. This is your Class 3A semifinal, game number 1 today out of 4, and leading it off will be Austin Smith, to be followed by Keegan Paddock and Brett Storm for LP. 7, 8, 9 in the order. Coming up, we have Nazareth Academy. He finished 3rd last year in 3A. They'll be taking on Marian Catholic.
Now, every time I think of LaSalle, Peru, the area, I think of the Kaskaskia Hotel, which was one of their famous landmarks that I know I had pleasure of having dinner at one point. I don't know if that's still there. We played football at LP way back in the Joe Marini days. And Joe Marini, the legendary coach of LaSalle, Peru, actually got Coach Booker his start in coaching. So there's a name out of the LP past, and if you know LaSalle Peru athletics, you know Joe Marini.
Cavaliers in that famous red and green as Austin Schmidt working in his 4th inning. He came into this game 1 batter into the 2nd inning. He is not allowed a hit. He has struck out 2. He's hit a couple of batters, but he has done exactly what his coach Jesse Booger has wanted him to do and keep him right there. And just we say he's allowed no hits, Austin Smith starts the 5th with a single to left.
Seven hits up on the board for LaSalle Peru. 5 in the first inning, so they really got out of the gate early. Then, as you've been giving the superlatives and accolades to Austin Schmidt, he's done a fine job, just keeps attacking the zone and putting the ball in play. He won't overpower you, but he's had some good atom balls where his defense has been able to make some plays for the most part.
Keegan Paddock in a bunt situation. We mentioned he and Storm practice extra bunting before every game.
And that particular pitch, Paddock looking down to his third base coach, once again anticipating a bunt sign. On that particular attempt, he did not catch the ball with the bat. You want to catch the ball with the bat? He moved the barrel, punched it last second. Let's see if he gets out early and lets the ball hit the bat on this bunt attempt.
Well, this is a good bunting team, and I love this quote from Bill Booker, the head coach. He said, bunting is just a bunch of repetition. If kids want to learn to bunt, bunting is not a lost art. And that one will work. It could be big. Paddock is tagged out. He didn't think he was. But Keaton Wright, the first baseman, able to get a glove on Paddock.
A solid play by Wright, an outstanding bunt, move him over, but this was definitely a push bunt. He got it past the pitcher. He got it to the right of the first baseman. And don't know, bang, bang, tag, no tag. No doubt Paddock thought he was safe. Bob Jenkins did not agree.
I'll bring up Storm. Storm today with a double and a run batted in, also was hit by a pitch.
You know, we had a chance to see the replay. Bob Jenkins, though, had a great angle, very emphatic with his call. So he made the call that he saw. All you can ask is great hustle. Bob Jenkins is one of the best umpires around.
Storm, a little looper. Thomas got a late break, but he makes the catch, and he's going to get himself a double play. Smith was running after the ball was hit. He's going to have an extra conversation with his head coach, Bill Booker. But give credit to Blake Thomas. Watch him come in. He broke back initially, and his throw to second will make for the third out of this inning. We've played 4.5. We'll go to the bottom of number 5. Triad needs to get on the board. They trail it 5-0. Temperature about 80 degrees here this morning in Joliet. Supposed to work its way up into the upper 80s. Could hit 90 if things all go perfectly weather condition-wise here this afternoon. Could be 90 degrees again tomorrow. It will be 7-8-9 for the Triad Knights. They come in with a 32-8 record. They have not scored a run in this game, and it will be A.J. Wise to lead things off. This one's a rope right at Casey Hubie.
Well, Wise is going to be playing ball at McKendree. He's a National Honor Society student in his own right. He got a ball in the inner part, just flat out turned on it. And what a great looking textbook swing that was.
I'll bring us up to Lucas Infante, who now will re-enter the game to swing the bat. So that means that the pitching time of Austin Schmidt will come to a close. You're allowed to re-enter, but if you are the first substitute and you are taken out of the game, you are done. So this will be the first at bat for Schmidt, or for Infante, as Schmidt had flown out to left his last time up.
Warming up for Triad is Jordan Felix, 6'4", 205 junior. We expect that he will be their next pitcher indeed.
Infante, a 276 hitter for the 6-foot junior. 7 doubles, 3 home runs. Back to that play to close out the top half of the inning. The little sinking line drive to the right fielder Thomas. This ball is fisted, and it may have enough. It does. Lands softly in that grass beyond left field. It's the second hit of the game for the Knights, and it comes with 1 out in the 5th. But back to that little sinking line drive that Thomas was able to make a nice catch on. The runner at second base, that was Austin Smith. We talked about it during the break. Didn't find the ball in relation to the outfielder.
Yeah, we had previously talked about always knowing where the ball is at. We'll probably talk about that just about every game this weekend, the importance of that as a base runner. And the other part of knowing where the ball's at, you need to know where the defense is at. Each and every time you're on a base, you should immediately look to where the defense position itself so that you know on a flare, I can get to point A, point B, point C. You know on a ball that's hit deep, you can do the same thing.
Troy Wiesmeyer at the plate had an infield single his last time up. Jenkins goes high to snag it and then throws the ball away at second base. That will allow the runner, Infante, to get on to third. So an error puts 2 runners aboard.
Easy play by Kyle Jenkins, who would like to have that throw back. When I say easy play, yes, it was a high chopper. It took him to the apex or top of his jump. Once he, cleanly picked up the baseball at the top of his jump, his one and only thought process should have been get 1 out. I do not have a double play opportunity. Throw a strike right to the chest of Adam Happ. Instead, he tried to rush things. Elbow came down, ball went down, and first and third opportunity now for Triad. You see him beat this ball right there. There's a high chop. Jenkins goes up and gets it, but then dropped down, and the ball sails away. In that situation, again, you know it's not a double play opportunity. It wasn't hit hard enough. Just make sure of an out on any play, but especially with a 5-run lead.
Back to the top of the order. Cody Massey will step to the plate. One out here, runners first and third. Now this is a Triad team that here in the 5 previous state tournament games has scored 55 runs. Capable of opening it up. On the mound, Mike Lynch. He's 12-0 this year. Came into the game with a 0.63 earned run average, only allowing 39 hits in 77 innings. Massey today 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out. You get the feeling right here, don't you, that this is the crucial inning of this game for Triad. They need to get something out of this as we are in the bottom of the 5th.
Saw Cody Booker out in front. He had changed his signs as to what they were going to do in a first and third situation. He gave one set of signs, one pitch, came out, it was changed for the bench, and so gave another set of signs. I can't believe it would be anything right now but throw him out. They would trade an out for a run, no doubt about it.
Wiesmeyer is at first. Good cut from Massey. Massey, .361 average this season. Couldn't find that one from Lynch.
So Massey struck out the first time up. He went 4-3 his second trip. That ball was away. Right now, if Lynch wants, he really has 2 good choices, either extend it away or go up.
It was away.
You're pitching 0-2, 1-2. You can be very, very effective expanding the strike zone.
Now it's 3-2. Let's see if Wiesmeyer is on the move here. One out in the inning. Jesse Booger does not want a strikeout throw out double play to end the inning. Wiesmeyer stays. Massey hits this ball well to right center field. That's got some giddy up to it. That gets to the track. Scoring easily is Infante. Wiesmeyer had to hold at first base, make sure it wasn't caught. He'll end up at third, and Triad is on the board with 2 more in scoring position here in the 5th inning.
Well, look at how this inning started. It started with a line drive out, but then just a flare by Infante, who had re-entered over Kyle Jenkins' head in left field. Then the error by Kyle Jenkins, and then on a 3-2 pitch, Cody Massey just flat out puts a charge into that baseball. You see the hips get through, the hands clear, the belly button getting all the way to the pitcher. He finished that swing and drove it deep into the right center field gap.
4-run difference. Runner at second and third for Ty Lewis. Lewis will take a curveball. He is popped out and struck out looking. Lewis, .328 average, 26 runs batted in. It's in the number 2 spot. This Triad Knights order. He takes a pretty good hack at a fastball from Lynch.
Lewis has a very wide open stance. When he steps back in the box, you'll see his left foot wide open or toward the third base side of the batter's box. Then as a timing mechanism, he will move his foot forward back into the hitting area and keep his lead foot close, step right to the pitcher.
Outfield playing straight away for Lewis. Big, big, big strikeout for Mike Lynch for the second out of the inning.
So now Dylan Johnson becomes the biggest hitter in the game for Triad. 5-1 after 5, you're in trouble. Base hit, 5-3, you're right back in the ball game. So this is the key at bat. It's all about Dylan Johnson picking up his teammate Ty Lewis right now for Triad.
Lynch from the full wind. First base is open. And this is where the 3-4 combination here for Triad is so tough. Keaton Wright waits on deck. And they paint that outside corner. 82-mile-per-hour fastball. .449 average with 21 extra base hits.
And with those 21 extra base hits, LP outfield plenty deep, trying to stop any kind of gaps.
Hitters count now for Johnson. See the upper part of your screen, Nazareth Academy. They have arrived. They'll play in the second semifinal against Marian Catholic. They go at Johnson. Jenkins knocks it down. Throw, low, picked out of there by Levi Erickson. He saved Jenkins from another error. A run would have scored, the inning would have continued, but instead, just one run crosses the plate. There were 2 hits, the RBI double by Cody Massey, and the defensive gem here by the first baseman Erickson.
Jenkins has the presence of mind, even though he should have gone to the bare hand, not the glove, to pick it up and keep his presence of mind. And for the second time today, Erickson makes a big-time play on a ball in the dirt. But this one with 2 runners on, and a good first baseman can be an infielder's best friend.
Triad cuts the lead. It's LaSalle Peru 5, Triad 1. Top of the 6th, top of the order for LaSalle Peru. John Heister, Adam Happ, and Cody Booker, and they will be facing their third pitcher of the day. The Triad has run out there. This is 6'4" junior Jordan Felix.
We'll take a look at Felix's number after this first pitch. Give you an idea what he's done thus far this year. Felix 5-3, 43 innings pitched, a 1.95 earned run average. This is his 13th appearance on the season for the Knights. He had 25 strikeouts, 21 walks, and his job is to keep his team within striking distance.
Well, that's exactly what Austin Schmidt did after the 5 runs in the first inning and after the leadoff man reached base in the second inning. Schmidt came in and blanked LaSalle Peru through 4 innings. Heister had checked his swing on a ball that bounced in. They appealed. They got the strike call, and then all of a sudden it became a drop third strike, so Heister takes off, but the catcher Dylan Johnson makes sure he goes no farther, so that's a strikeout. Second of the day by Heister.
What an umpire is looking for when they check as we see that one going 84 miles an hour, when they check with the first base umpire on that, they're not watching the hands. They're looking for, does the barrel of the bat cross home plate? In that particular case, Bob Jenkins thought yes, indeed.
Felix likes to come straight over the top, 6 feet 4 inches tall, as Adam Happ is singled, flown out and grounded out today to right field, and that will be enough for a base hit. Right fielder Blake Thomas had thoughts of trying to get Happ on a throw from right field, thought better of it, and with 1 out, the Cavaliers have a runner at first.
Good job by Happ keeping his hands back, going with the breaking ball, and hit it where it's pitched to right field. Felix had gone fastball, 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 all in the 83, 84 mile an hour range. That was a curveball about 74, 75. If you keep your hands back, even if your weight comes forward, you can do good things with the handling of the bat and put the ball in play.
That hit was the 8th of the day for the Cavaliers, 6 of which came in the first inning. Cody Booker is hit by a pitch twice and is walked. Nearly was scraped with another one.
Yeah, the sequence of a baseball swing is leading with the hips, then the hands, then the bat. If the bat comes forward too soon, you're going to be a 220 hitter or below. If you keep your hands back, good things can happen to you.
Booker, the .452 batting average, but if you ask his father, the head coach Bill Booker, who's the best bunter on your team, kind of makes a face and he says, you know, he's the best bunter on the team.
5'9", 180, just like a chiseled kind of build. Just a tank, great leadership qualities, great student, I believe a 30 ACT.
And he has come to the plate 4 times. He does not have an official plate appearance. 2 walks, 2 hit batters. He goes down to first. And here comes Josh Sarver once again. He will do the running.
4 out of 4 on base percentage. Usually your 3-hole, you want RBIs, but what great job at not getting himself out. You know, good hitters don't get themselves out. They don't chase balls out of the zone, hit weak pop-ups, weak ground balls. Never found a pitch to his liking, but he finds first base to his liking for 4 consecutive times.
Cleanup hitter Levi Erickson saved 1 run for sure, possibly more in the bottom half of that 5th inning with that pick of the low throw to close out the inning. Erickson an RBI single in the first, flew out, also had a sacrifice bunt. That's off the fists. That will get down, and that might as well be a sacrifice bunt. Both runners advance.
That ball had a weird sound coming off the bat because it came way down at the handle. Just fisted Erickson, who fought it off, got his hands through, and actually a pretty nice play by Ty Lewis because, you know, that ball can spin in a very strange way when it comes off the bat like that. He stayed down, let the ball kind of settle down into the grass, and then went ahead and just got the sure out at first base.
Casey Hubie will come to the plate, but first, a conversation. A couple of different options here now. You do have 2 outs. You say, well, first base is open. Maybe we might want to do something, maybe just to get a force. Well, what has Hubie done earlier today? Well, he singled in a run in the first, reached on an error, struck out. What's our next batter done? That would be Kyle Jenkins. He singled in a run in the first and has flown out twice.
Well, the top of the order has certainly been on base a lot for LaSalle Peru, as they were in the super section, where the top 5 spots in the order were 9 from 17. And today, Heister's been on base once, Happ, twice, Booker 4.
The ball slicing away from the center fielder. Wiesmeyer on the run, makes the great catch. That saves 2 runs, and it keeps Triad in the ball game. Troy Wiesmeyer in center field. Take a look back at it.
Oh my, look at him get off the ball, run it down to the point of attack. At that point, he's almost outrunning the baseball. Lays flat out, chest to turf, comes up with a smile, comes up with a baseball, and comes up with some high fives to his teammates.
Big offense for Triad will look to come alive in the bottom of the 6th. They trail by 4. Back in the regional championship game, Triad trailed Highland 6-1 in the 6th inning, down by 5. They eventually won that game 7-6. They have scored 8 runs in an inning twice in their last 2 games. They're up against it now against Mike Lynch, who has allowed only 3 hits and 1 run. If there's a team that can come back, this would be it. Keaton Wright to lead things off. Lynch had retired the first 8 batters of this game before giving up an infield single. He's had 2 or 3 runners on base in each of the last 2 innings, only allowed 1 run.
That comeback that you just gave facts on, as well as the big innings, don't think those have not been talked about in that Triad dugout, trying to gain some believability back with their baseball team.
Outfield deep for Wright. Does it have enough to get through? Happ with the pick at first base by Erickson.
Erickson just feeling it right now as his defense, all they're saying is, hey, we'll get it to you. You pick it up. We'll get it to you or you pick it up. That time, not a bad play at all by Happ, going to his backhand, knocked it down, threw it past the base, but good footwork by Erickson. Not 1, 2, 3, but the trifecta as far as 3 out of 3 picks on balls in the dirt here this morning.
95 pitches now by Lynch. His pitch count is certainly increased here in the last couple of innings.
I think they'll ride this horse the rest of the way if they can, though he won't see the hill tomorrow. So go ahead and stay on the saddle this morning. Get your team to Saturday.
Blake Thomas at the plate, a ground out and a walk. Triad has left 5 runners on base in the last 3 innings. This should be an easy one. Lynch runs the ball halfway there, then the underhand toss.
You and I like to talk baseball. You and I have talked about this before. Pitch counts, I think, really overrated. How about yourself?
Not a fan.
Yeah, I'm not. Back in the old days, and not just when we played, but back, the 4-man rotations in the big leagues, and the 40 starts and complete games. I just think that right now, because of the money that professional baseball puts into prospects, I think it's trickled down so much to colleges and high schools to feel the pressure of a pitch count rather than know the young man's physical abilities.
Well, and obviously you will get a lot of arguments from a lot of coaches, a lot of medical people, but I think some of the things that don't get factored in is how many tosses did you take in the bullpen before the game? Everybody has a different pattern of how many they throw before the game. So I don't know, but let's say Lynch now is throwing his 100th pitch. Did he warm up with 30? Did he warm up with 60? I mean, that to me all factors in as well.
Right. The other factor is, again, if you go back 15, 20 years, 25, keep going back, and you take a look at pitch counts, which were almost non-existent back then, athletes were off in the off season. Now these guys go to pitching academies and pitching clinics year-round, so that's the wear and tear on their arm, is their arm never gets a break.
Andrew Range at the plate. High heater, checks it up in time. Ball and 2 strikes to Range, strikeout and a flyout. Lynch has retired the last 4 batters he's faced. Got a little bit of defensive help along the way from his first baseman, Erickson.
We've been talking about Range's overcoming some physical problems, and then his baseball abilities, also getting academic money at Truman State. So that's the complete package for this young man.
Range rattles that into the dugout. Look, you hang on the rail there, fellas, over there at first base. You better be alive. Oh, man. Right down the middle, Range. Can't believe he couldn't pull the trigger. Quick inning for Mike Lynch. 1, 2, 3. We go to the 7th, a 4-run lead for the Cavaliers. This ball game was very slow paced, but yet very high scoring in the first inning. Shouldn't say it was a slow paced game. It was a first inning that took a long time for LaSalle Peru. They scored all 5 of their runs, and that has been enough. Since that top half of the first inning, this has been a 1-0 game. But we are here in the top of the 7th with Kyle Jenkins to lead things off. Jenkins today, single, fly out, line out.
He was part of that 6 consecutive men to reach base in that first inning, and it was base hit, hit by pitch, base hit, base hit, base hit, as it was a hit barrage as they were getting some good passes of the baseball in inning number 1. Took advantage of it, jumped on Triad for 5 runs in blitzkrieg fashion, top of the first.
Third pitcher that has hit the mound for Triad. Starter was Lucas Infante. He lasted 1 batter into the 2nd inning. Then Austin Schmidt came in, was fantastic with 4 shutout innings. Jordan Felix came in last inning and stranded a couple of base runners. Felix on the mound here in the 7th.
Felix imposing at 6'4", 205, just a junior. So he's going to top out at 6'5", 6'6", and he's going to top out about 220, 225 before all is said and done. See the big, young, strapping junior.
And up above him, you see Nazareth Academy, the Roadrunners, checking in with a 30-9 record. They'll take on the Spries here in a 3A tournament. Marion Catholic 23-17. They started tournament play with an 18-17 record. That will be our 3A matchup, and then this afternoon it will be 4A play. Grant to take on Oak Park River Forest, and your defending state champion 4A Lions to play Manuka to wrap things up. And of course tomorrow afternoon it will be 3rd place in championship games. One hopper to A.J. Wise with a nice slide and glide. Out one.
A.J. Wise, see a good look at number 4, jersey to your back. Nice little play up the middle because that ball, again, had some different kind of spin. But he was able to get to it in a hurry, square it off, and throw a strike over to first base.
Austin Smith, the designated hitter, batting for the pitcher Mike Lynch. 2 for 3 today. Couple of singles. Smith was doubled off second base. That came in the 5th inning with 1 out. Take that one in tight. And then Triad came back and picked up a run in the bottom half of that inning. 5 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors for LaSalle Peru. Triad 1, 3, and 2. Felix takes the count to 2-2. Have a pinch hitter waiting on deck, Matt Dressback. As high and tight and a swing and a miss. The second strikeout of the game for Felix. A pinch hitter for Keegan Paddock, Matt Dressback, 5'8" senior. 229 average.
Triad outfield continues to play deep. 2 outs. They'll allow a single to fall in front of them safely, but do not want a ball to get in the gap to get to the wall to sub an extra base hit and put a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
Tough hop sucked in by Andrew Range. And that is a very quick top half the 7th inning for Jordan Felix and the Triad Knights, but now their bats need to come to work. Triad comes to the plate, bottom of the 7th, they need 4 to tie to keep this thing going. 5-1, LaSalle Peru in your 3A semis. LaSalle Peru bidding to play in their first championship ball game in school history. They are 3 outs away from doing it.
Couple errors up on the scoreboard for LP, but with the exception of those 2 misplays in the field, a very efficient game today. They've hit the ball, they've scored 2 out runs, they got the ball through the infield, they've bunted, they've had some sure plays, double play, the double play they ran into, so LP has played superlative, but they still need 3 more outs.
A.J. Wise to lead it off against Mike Lynch. Wise to be followed by, see, it looks like they will run a pinch hitter out there. Dalton Johnson has picked up a bat. Then Troy Wiesmeyer. 7, 8, 9. And a count 3-0 to the leadoff batter here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
He'll take this one and probably one more if need be. They need runners.
Lynch today has struck out 6, walked 1, and given up only 3 hits. Ball hit pretty well, right center by Wise. That ball carries all the way to the track up against the wall. A.J. Wise starts at the bottom of the 7th with a leadoff double.
Well, he went 3-0, took the automatic 3-0 pitch. Then he probably had a rule right there, or the instruction, you can swing if it's a fastball only in your zone. See him get the foot down right on contact, lead leg locks out. He puts a charge in that ball, and it gets it all the way out to the Herald News sign at the fence. Triad, you've mentioned it before, way too good offensively to go down without getting some positive hacks in.
So a freshman here in the bottom of the 7th of your 3A semifinals, Dalton Johnson to do the pinch hitting. Johnson 2 hits and 10 at bats. 6 foot 165 pounder. Lynch now with 110 pitches, 69 of them for strikes. He starts Johnson with a strike. Troy Wiesmeyer waits on deck. The tying run is still in the dugout. Good cut from Johnson. The lead at second to Wise. Oh, what a spot here for a freshman with only 10 varsity at-bats. You can see Lynch just laboring just a little bit.
That's Noah Lamboli, who we expect to see pitch tomorrow for LP, warming up in the right field bullpen. But they know they got to get to tomorrow first.
Johnson hits this ball pretty well to left. Drifting, they lost in the sun. Brett Storm can't find it. Wise will score easily. And Dalton Johnson has gone back-to-back with doubles with A.J. Wise. And Triad has cut it to a 5-2 game.
What a quality at bat for the freshman. 2 for 10 coming in. Got deep into the pitch count. Saw some pitches. See the young man at second as he just hammers that ball. Pulls his hands in. Finds the gap. Pretty good angle by Storm, but just couldn't outrun the charge that the freshman Johnson had put into the baseball. In Triad right now, you've mentioned their comebacks before, on the edge of the dugout steps of the red shirts as they think they can do something positive here in the bottom of the 7th.
Dalton Johnson, there he is. Talk about doing the job. It's a thrill for that young man. It'll be a bigger thrill if he can cross home plate. Now, I mentioned that Brett Storm lost in the sun. The way he pulled up indicated from a distance he did. You could see in a replay, he just realized he wasn't going to get it and was going to have to angle out to get that hop. But back-to-back doubles here have cut it to a 3-run game for Troy Wiesmeyer. Wiesmeyer, an infield single, also reached on a fielder's choice.
Wiesmeyer's job in the 9-hole right here, get on base, set the table so the tying run gets to the plate.
He is a .311 hitter on the season. Lynch stays in and starts off Wiesmeyer with a big curve.
Got some good bloodlines. Wiesmeyer's cousin Ty plays center field for Illinois State University in the Missouri Valley Conference.
Booker wanted it outside. This was a bit too much. A bit too high.
So we get a little drama building here in the bottom of the 7th. Good at bat by Wiesmeyer. Fish aren't biting upstairs.
You can just feel Lynch here gutting this one out. This is the number 9 hitter in the Triad order.
Might be Lynch's last man if Wiesmeyer reaches base.
That hits the outside edge. Five runs in the first for LaSalle Peru, 1 in the 4th, and now 1 in the 7th for Triad. Just getting a seam of that ball to stay alive.
So we'll see the 6th pitch in this at bat. Good waste on a pretty good breaking ball that was going 12-6 on the clock, straight down. He was able to foul it off.
Goats fastball. Wiesmeyer spoils it. Lynch has allowed 5 hits. 3 of them have been doubles. All 3 of those doubles have come in the last 3 innings. Tying run is on deck.
Lynch has lost a little bit of his pace, a little bit of his rhythm right now.
Looping. Will it stay up long enough? It does. Paddock is there. 1 out.
First out's always tough to get. The third out's always the toughest to get. He's got one more to sandwich in between.
Keegan Paddock had re-entered the ball game following being pinch hit for the top half of this inning. Brings us to the top of the order for Triad, Cody Massey. Massey a strikeout and a ground out and an RBI double in the fifth. Cody Booker will come back behind the plate. Those two fellows you saw there on the mound, they were right here on this field in 2009 as freshmen. They were freshman reserves and now they are senior leaders. Cody Massey, 361 average, driven in 16 runs with 6 doubles. He actually picked up his 17th run batted in earlier today.
Noah Lamboli appears to be ready down in the bullpen. He is continuing to toss, but just kind of, not fully going full out right now, just keeping the arm loose.
That's a good fastball in the outside corner at 82 miles per hour. A ball and 2 strikes now to Massey. Ty Lewis waits on deck. He struck out twice against Lynch already today. Number 16, 6'1", 220-pound senior. Mike Lynch checked into this game with a 12-0 record, 0.63 earned run average. And he gets the big strikeout right there of Massey.
Great changeup, straight change, 74 miles an hour. He took a good 8 to 10 miles off of that fastball that he'd been showing. He took a good 6 inches off of it, and he got a pretty doggone good hitter, Cody Massey, way out on his front foot and just waving the wand with no magic in it that time.
That will leave it up to Ty Lewis. Pop up and 2 strikeouts. .511 senior, 328 average with 26 runs batted in. The middle infield not paying too much attention to Dalton Johnson out at second base. High heat. The bullpen has been shut down. This is all Lynch right now. Didn't miss by much. It's 2-1.
It was a breaking ball that still had bite to it. A lot of times when you see a pitcher get tired, the ball will start to roll. That ball still went down hard with authority.
Waiting on deck. The tying run, Dylan Johnson.
See, Lynch physically has hit a wall, but he's going on adrenaline right now. He's going with his heart pumping, his adrenaline moving as he can smell a win.
And the tying run will come to the plate. Johnson with a home run in the Super Sectional. A long one would tie it here in the bottom of the 7th, but Lynch will not face him. He gave it all he had, 131 pitches. And Lynch will come off to a big hand.
Gutsy performance as he physically exerted himself to exhaustion. Gave it up for the team, and there's no better reason to give it up to try to get your team to the state finals.
At the plate, it will be Dylan Johnson. Here are his numbers. .449 average, 11 doubles, 7 triples, 3 home runs. He has driven in 47 runs this year. Today, 0 for 3. Grounded out to first, reached on an error, and grounded out again in the 6th. Headed to McKendree University. But it will be a sophomore that will be going up against him, Noah Lamboe, 5'11", 150-pounder.
Just a sophomore. You bring him in a game situation. 9-1, so he's wise above his years. 71 innings pitched. A microscopic ERA of 0.89, 83 punch-outs. This is a hard-throwing sophomore. Only 11 bases on balls. Great ratio, 83-11, and just 37 hits allowed. But a comment I need to make, as he was warming up in the pen the entire time, and we've seen this before, he was throwing from the windup the entire time. He was winding up as no one on base. Now he's coming in with 2 runners on base, so he's going to get 8 practice pitches, warm-up pitches from the set, rather than taking advantage of throwing numerous pitches from the set position. We'll see how quickly he can acclimate himself to the mound, which is 60 foot 6 inches away from home plate.
Lamboli pitched 6 shutout innings, giving up only 1 hit against Geneseo in the sectional semifinals. Struck out 3, walked the batter in the super sectional win. And now in the third place game, 1 out away from sending his team to the title matchup.
He was indeed up on the varsity as a freshman last year in limited appearances. Team last year was 21-14 that he was a part of.
Dylan Johnson ready to roll. 2 outs here in the 7th. The outfield about as deep as you can play here at Silver Cross Field. The bottom line is you do not want there. You get a good look at center fielder Brett Storm playing very deep. His fellow outfielders on either side just as deep. The idea is here you do not want Johnson to get to second base.
A single can't hurt you. A double, triple, anything that puts him in a scoring position certainly can.
.82-mile-per-hour fastball. It's 2-0.
So not overpowering velocity.
Will this stay in play? Will there be a chance? Dropping quickly. Excellent attempt by Kyle Jenkins. Would not land in his glove. Wow.
Great picture right there. Jenkins holding the heart, trying to catch his breath, and mark that one up. Ever so close to the game ending out we were, but instead, new life.
Good count to hit with for Johnson. One hopper. Erickson and LaSalle Peru will be playing for the state title tomorrow morning in Joliet. The Cavaliers 5-2 winners over Triad. A 5-run top half of the first inning is all they needed. Triad never got the bats going against Mike Lynch in the final appearance by Noah Lamboli. So LP, the 4th place finishers in 2009, play for the title tomorrow.
Gutsy performance by Lynch. Falling behind 2-0, Lamboli comes in, entices the ground ball. Appropriate Levi Erickson, all that. That was his easiest play of the day. He made some big stops at first base, and a solid win by LP. And guts shown once again by a Triad team that has no quit in them. They haven't all year. They didn't today, but just a base hit or 2 short of getting the job done at bottom of the 7th.
So LaSalle Peru, a 16-game winning streak. They have not lost since Bill Booker was fired. He's going to be coaching in a state championship ball game. Mike Lynch goes to 13-0. The Cavaliers 34-6. The Triad Knights, a 9 o'clock appointment. The 3rd place game, their record falls to 32-9. Once again, your final score: LaSalle Peru 5, Triad 2. For our entire IHSA.TV crew from Mark Lindo, I'm Dave Bernhardt. Semifinal game number 1 in Class 3A has come to a close. Game number 2 coming up next.